Welcome to a land of mythical whimsy and ancient Pyrenees folklore. A game set in a world inspired by a Catalonian fable, the MANAIRONS are back, and this time they are not staying quiet. Developed by JANDUSOFT and 3Cat and released in February 2026, MANAIRONS is a 3D action platformer game set in Viamon, a peaceful village that hides many secrets. You play as Nai, a tiny magical sprite awakened by a mysterious witch. For centuries, Nai has been locked inside the canut, a magical artifact as old as it is suspicious. The canut is causing chaos, and it's your mission to recover it. On your journey, you will interact with a variety of modest, humble, yet peculiar characters as you uncover mysteries, defeat enemies, and learn the hidden abilities of your trusty flute. Let's start with what drew me to this game: how it looks. This game screams PS1 platformer updated and upgraded for a modern age. The Tim Burton-esque art style, mixed with straightforward collecting and light puzzle solving gameplay, is a welcome throwback to mascot era games of the mid to late 90s. It's a beautifully crafted world for a story-driven game which acts as a love letter to Catalan mythology. Engaging right from the start, the narration of the witch guides you seamlessly through the mechanics and premise of the game. The industrial themes in the art style are a perfect reflection of the game's mission. MANAIRONS are industrious creatures, and it's Nai's job to transform this village in need to one of peace and productivity. The music is dark and brooding, while also being soft and melodic, which perfectly sets the tone for our magical journey. In terms of gameplay, the best way to describe MANAIRONS is approachable. The combat is relentless but simple enough to not be overly challenging. It's all action all the time. The puzzles are thoughtful but not too complex. For instance, there are times where you have to move the energy cell into the correct circuit to unlock collectibles or advance through the level. While this particular mechanic does evolve in complexity, it remains entirely solvable with a modicum of consideration and perhaps a smidge of trial and error. The game perfectly guides you to where you need to go and what you need to do. The camera cuts across the different coloured eggs and egg nests gives the player the perfect subtle nudge into explaining the task at hand. Some objects are movable, and this is clearly displayed on screen with a button prompt, so you're very unlikely to miss these cues. The controls for jumps, double jumps and crouching are clearly defined, with the levels expertly designed to point you to your destination. If you do need to veer off track for whatever reason, be it to pick up a collectible item or an energy cell, the chances of you getting lost are slim to none. I found the enemies you encounter along the way to have the perfect balance of volume and variety for the type of game this is. Some enemies come at you like normal, to whom you use your flute as a melee weapon. That's not the only thing your flute does, but we'll get to that shortly. Other enemies fly at you, there's bee-like monsters that will throw honey at you, and there's this guy who charges at you, so you'll need to time your attack to strike him from behind. While some players may bemoan the lack of variety in the enemies, the waves of attack will keep you on your toes as you look to survive and conquer. Your health bar will deplete when you take a hit, but you can consume your mushrooms to replenish slightly. You'll gain an extra mushroom at the start of each level to offset the increase in difficulty each level brings. If your health runs out completely, you'll be sent back to the last checkpoint, which are generously spread out across each level. And each time you reach a checkpoint, you'll have the opportunity to rest, fully fill up your health meter, and restock your mushrooms, which you should. A nice addition to the collectibles in this game is the records, which contain different musical tracks that can be played on the gramophone at your checkpoint. MANAIRONS heavily centers around music, and this is where your flute comes into play. In each part of the hub world, you'll learn a new tune to play on your flute. Playing the correct notes in the right order will trigger a new ability, such as moving large rocks, traversing across larger gaps, fixing machinery, and much more as the game progresses. At the end of each level, you'll come face to face with a final boss fight. Much trickier than the foes you encounter throughout, you'll need to use everything you've learned as well as every bit of your skill and timing to overcome them. Difficult in places but incredibly rewarding. I won't give away too much else at this point, mainly because I don't want to spoil anything. I would highly recommend this game to just about anyone. MANAIRONS feels like a family-friendly platformer with the difficulty set to be more approachable for all ages and skill levels. Personally, I found the story gripping. I was fully invested in the characters, especially the witch. It was a welcome escape from the real world while also being an education into a lesser-known cultural legend. This game has heart, and it was clearly made with love and passion. The game is shorter than a lot of more established 3D platformer franchises, but the price point does reflect that. And for everything you get, I'd say MANAIRONS is well worth your time.